Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I'm Monica, and we are diving into Cancerian energy now. I'm slowly disseminating information here because we don't have any definitives quite yet beyond spiritual confirmation and my own body. However, these sign readings likely will be the last that I am able to do for the collective in this lifetime. I'm incredibly sick, and it looks as though I have a very aggressive form of cancer in my blood. And my time is just kind of coming to its natural close in life. So I wanted to open all of these readings being very honest with you guys. And also giving you guys a lot of gratitude because you have been my family. You have been my support. You've given me hope. You've given me purpose and passion and grace. You've given me friendship and collaboration. And you've given me more magic and wonder and awe, each and every one of you in the collective, than I could have ever imagined I would experience. So I wanted to start with saying thank you. I don't know why it's so hard for me with you guys, Cancer. I kind of do. My daughter is a Cancer rising, and she and I have had this very up and down relationship for many, many years. And she had to go through literal hell in life in order to come out the other side. And it was one of the hardest things for me to do as a mom. And with Cancer, we're working with a divine mother energy all the time. But it was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do as a mom was to step back and let her fall. Let her fall, let her get lost, and not be able to pick her up. And to put my faith in the prayers and the intentions and in her. To put my faith in the divine and in the guides and the ancestors to help her through the fear and the pain. It was incredibly overwhelming. And it's a little bit bittersweet these days because I finally have her back. I finally have her back in my life. She's so amazing. She's amazing, guys. She's going to change the world. She's more powerful than I am, more gifted than I am. Thank God for that. But it's been a really long, hard journey. So I wanted to come here and sit with you guys as much as I can. Because even though it may appear on the outside as though I'm sitting here and I'm giving and I'm pouring into you, in reality, what you guys are doing is pouring back into me strength. Every time that I film, I feel stronger. And it's so blessed of a thing to be able to feel stronger right now. Especially when my body is broken and limited and very, very ill. I don't want to get too emotional or too deep into this. I'm being as raw and real as I can. It's just my forte, guys. If it's not for you, that's okay. But I do want to talk. I want to get into these messages for you. I've kind of changed the approach that I take to these readings. Sorry about that. I had to readjust. My spleen is incredibly enlarged and it's very, very painful for my rib cage. So if you hear a gasp or motion or anything, please don't be alarmed. The pain is quite severe inside of my body. It's my bones. It's just pretty bad. So please bear with me. the way I approach my readings is changing, because normally I would pull an indicator card and give it time, let the energy settle, let excessive messages come through. And while that's all well and good, time is of the essence in my life right now. And Spirit understands that. So Spirit has guided me to shift in different ways, to just kind of move things in a different way. I mean, even to the extent where I'm welcoming you guys a little bit further into my home. As you can see, the background has kind of changed a bit. I am in my main living area. As you guys can see, my kitchen's over there. And we've got my living room set up here. And I moved myself out here, tearing down what used to be my office because it was so closed off. But I moved myself out here because I felt called to being able to work on the south side of my house. Welcoming in new every day, grounding down, but also just being out here. And that's a kind of Cancerian thing, this Cancerian flow, this home feeling, this soul feeling, nurturing. I have a harder time being a mom these days, being a wife these days, as far as like making meals and keeping my house maintained how I normally would. I have a much harder time. I have to ask for a lot more help. But that help in this sense came in through Spirit, helping me to flow with the energy a lot easier, smoother, and just kind of dive right in. I find it very unusual for me to sit here and just channel, to just talk. I know the cards are on the table. I get that. But I just feel like I'm talking to you guys at this point. We're talking about Pluto. Pluto going through Capricorn. Pluto leaves Capricorn, ironically, on the 19th of November. And I say it's ironic because that's when my bone marrow biopsy is scheduled for. So as Pluto is moving out, we'll be receiving my diagnosis. Hopefully. Time is kind of the essence in this matter. It doesn't take long for this kind of cancer to get in. But regardless, let's move on out of me into you. Cancer, Pluto moving through Capricorn is putting pressure on you. This constant push and pull pressure on you because Capricorn is your opposite sign. And so wherever it falls in your chart, whether it's your rising or your falling or whatever have you, this energy has been pulling and pulling and pulling at you. And when we have that pulling, we can get really confused because you're working with elemental energy of water and earth. And as that pulling comes in, it's pulling that moisture of Cancerian energy down into the earth and wanting that saturation, wanting that fulfillment of earth and water together. But your core energy, your key energy here is actually the card of fire. It's the sun. Even in this mystical shaman oracle deck, it's the number 19, just like the sun card. So your core energy here is about fire. It's about spirit. Now we think about spirit and spiritual gifts a lot of the time in that watery realm because water is very psychic. But the nature and the essence of spirit itself is fire. It's that spark, that initial spark that creates all of life. And we need that spark in order for life to exist. We need water for life to exist as well. But without that spark, it's just water. And life can exist, but the sentience and the divinity to it exists within the fire. So this pulling that you feel, this pressurized yanking and pulling and pulling and pulling from Pluto being in your opposite sign has been asking you to see where is that middle ground. We can get all inured in the psychic and the grounding and the this and the that and the I'm going to do these water manifestations and I'm going to do these earthing techniques. But when we discount fire energy, we're discounting spirit itself. This is a huge lesson for you in this phase of your journey and in this phase of the world in and of itself. Because right now the world is in chaos. It's an uproar. It just is. It's everywhere. We can attribute it to this or that, the election or the war or this or whatever. But the truth is it's in an uproar because we've forgotten what the nature of fire is. We're using it to destroy when nature is creative in nature. by nature, by itself, it's a creative entity. And when we use something creative in order to destroy, we're skewing it into a shadow version of itself. And that pressure that we feel really takes its toll on us. It takes its toll on us because we think that we have to destroy. But there's a different way. There's a different way, and that's the message that I get from this. And the funny thing is as I sat down to get ready for you guys, I channeled just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Because it was 3:11 when I sat down, and immediately the song Amber played in my head by the band 3:11. And I heard, amber is the color of your energy. And amber is often associated with the solar plexus. But if you take a step back and you look at the coloring of amber, it's this brownish, yellowish, orangish color. There's no root to it, but it's like the Earth Star chakra had a baby with a solar plexus and a sacral. So we have this water and fire and earth energy. We have these energies here. Amber is the color of your energy. It's these blending together of this knowingness that all three of these things are incredibly crucial. And what is the nature of that for as far as creation goes? Instead of looking at things as destruction, we look at it as deconstruction. We're going to take it down. We're going to take it down to bare foundations. We're going to take it down to these pieces. And these pieces are important because these pieces tell us where the wheel is turning in our life. It tells us about our fortune. It tells us about our voice. It tells us about our resources and how we can use them to better ourselves. And when we better ourselves, then we better others. And we should never negate the self in favor of others. I did that for years. And now I'm still learning. But this fire energy, Cancer, this fire energy that might not feel so natural to you because you are so watery. The fire energy is where the spark to the gate to the underworld exists within you. And that can be a hard thing to understand. I know this is one of those, like, if you know, or if you don't know, you will find out if it's meant to be in the time that it's meant to be, when it's meant to be. Like, Spirit's going to lead you guys through this. Spirit will lead you through this. It will be okay. But when you have that spark to the gate to the underworld, then it's this journey internally. This journey to become aware of the things that you can deconstruct within yourself. You don't have to create destruction. You can maintain. Sometimes when things fall away or when we have to burn things away from us, it can feel like we're destroying. But what we're really doing is we're deconstructing what was. And in that deconstruction, we're giving ourselves this greater creative freedom. When Pluto is sitting opposite who we are, this identification point in our life, Pluto's asking us, how do we really identify ourselves? Do you really see yourself in this way? Or is this just a fallacy because of stereotypical beliefs, or because this is what you've always done, or this is what has always been expected of you? This transitional time as Pluto begins to move out of Capricorn, this pressure that you feel, this push and pull, is going to be released. And then if we're not prepared for it, it can feel very untethering, very ungrounding, especially with Pluto having sat there keeping you grounded consistently for so long. Wow, this message, totally different. Totally different. Everything is just going in such a different way. I love it. So the way that this reading works is we are working with the message from Pluto. Pluto's message for us all is she who walks in height and depth, healing the soul in collective debt. Pluto wants us to be aware of the different pieces and places in which our divine feminine has really gone above and beyond, where she has plumbed the depths of the underworld in order to heal, not just internally, not just generationally, but collectively, unilaterally, uniformly, and universally. And we've all been doing this together. We all are in this together, but we do it on an individual basis as well. So as we move through this now, we understand that Pluto is helping us understand our place within the collective. There are 4 of these tarot cards. Each one is aligned to a different critical degree within the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn being a cardinal sign, it has 2 critical degrees traditionally, which is the 13th and the 26th. But each sign also has 2 additional critical degrees, the 0 degree, which is the absolute beginning point, and the 29th degree, or the anaretic degree. Now, the 29th degree, a lot of people see it in a very negative light. When you paint things in a certain way, that's how it's going to be. This world is nothing more or less than a subjective reality based off of our own perceptive reasoning, determined by the perceptions that we have from the senses that we gain or utilize. So basically, we create our own reality. This entire world is subjective. That is why, for me, the 29th degree is the most potent, the most powerful, the most transformative. It can go either way. And we're the ones that determine which way it's going to go. So we have the 0 degree here. This is the beginning of the generational change. The 13th degree, which is the very first critical degree. This is that building energy, the calling from Pluto. When the pressure, the pulling became unavoidable in your life in whatever way. And this doesn't have to span the whole time. This is just a metaphor. It's just energy. Here we have the 26th degree, which is the point of inner transitioning. And I have been saying it to everybody. This is like arguably one of my favorites. Because when Pluto was going through it, it was back in 2022. And that was when I wrote my retrograde guidebooks. And those were it's just such a blessing of a time. It was so exciting for me to channel messages like that from the planets. It just was great. I always intended to keep going, but the energy that it took and the way that my health turned, it just didn't make it possible. Finally, we have the anaretic degree, the transformational death that has come. Now, we are all going through a transformational death. We may all be going through a collective, very similar one, but we're also going through our own individual ones. So this is going to be focused on yours. Down here, we have 3 oracle cards. These are intended as guidance for integration so that you can allow death to be the guide to the new that is coming on the other side as Pluto moves out. I don't intend on divining these. I am just going to show them to you, allow you to flow with the energy. It does help me to preserve some of my energy, but still gets you your messages. And I ask only for grace during this process. All right, let's get into it, Cancer. Let's see your beginning point. We have the Wisdom Keeper. I love this. Every single sign so far has been some sort of like continuation. So at the beginning of this journey, and it doesn't surprise me because this is such a personal transit for you, I know that we look at Pluto and it's a generational planet, so we think very transpersonal with it. But when it sits in the house that is opposite a core of our chart. So for me, I'm a Cancer Sun, I'm a Cancer Mercury, I'm a Cancer Mars. I got my Cancer in my 12th house. It rules my first house. I'm very Cancerian, very Piscean, very energetically linked to this energy. When we have that generational planet transiting across from these core features of our chart, these core pieces of who we are and how we operate in the world, no matter how you look at it, it's going to be a personal transit. And a lot of astrologers are going to disagree with me. That's fine. That is just fine. I don't need them to. You don't need them to. Look inside your heart and soul. Look inside the ways that life has unfolded since 2008. As though the pressure to transform has been there all the time, just like pushing on you. Do this different, do that different, try this, try that. And it has been overwhelming. It's just point blank overwhelming. And that's okay. But I love that this was kicked off with Wisdom Keeper, because that tells me that that pressure opened up inside of you this awareness of your own strength, this awareness of your own ability to be the leader in your life. And when that opens up within us, now we have this like, okay, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to move forward? How am I going to apply it? And we get into that hazy gray area, but you have that new beginning. You can feel it. And that new beginning never goes away. It never goes away, guys. It's in there. Even when it feels like all the sparks and the wonder and the awe is gone and all the magic is just, it's run out. I promise you it hasn't. It's still within you. It can be harder to get to because life can hit and be overwhelming. I'm no stranger to that. But it doesn't mean that it isn't there. So let's see how that pressure, that building to heed the call came in. Repression. Guys, we are working with some heavy energy here. Repression. All the things that we shove down, we can't shove down anymore. This has been an intense time for you, Cancer. Intense, spiritual, life-transforming, soul-transforming. All the things that we push down and that we repress. In order to feel that spark and that fire, we have to be able to bring it back out. We push things down and push things down and push things down, and we don't realize that as we're doing that, we're pushing ourselves down. One of the really hard lessons that I've had to learn is the amount of things that I have shoved down have actually created a dis-ease within my body. And you can't undo it at some point. Like at some point, your body, we're human, we're limited, our bodies are limited. The best thing that this transit has done for you is to make you aware of those repressive points, those things that you're shoving down. And I remember so vividly that pressure that comes in, and all of a sudden memories are unlocked and understandings are unlocked. And while some of them can be really good, some of them can be incredibly debilitating. And we just have to navigate our way through it. We just figure out how to do it. I don't know. I don't have any advice beyond that, but that's just how I did it. So let's look at the inner point of transition. I feel so connected to you guys. Voyager. That's that. I'm going to go. I love this. Oh God. This is the Knight of Cups, but to me, it speaks of the Hermit card, first of all, but also this is about going on this journey. So when this calling comes in, all these things, what are you going to do? What do you do? And Pluto wants you to remember, look at all the moments where you knew a change needed to be had. Like you knew that you needed to make a change in some way, shape, or form somewhere in your life. And then you just went and you did it. that Voyager energy, that's where it was. Like you knew you were going on a new journey and it needed to happen because all the things that you shoved down are now there. They're there. Willow wanted to join us. Now we're not pushing them down anymore. Now we're going to traverse the stars. So let's see the transformational death that has come. Karma. Damn, guys. This is utterly aligned. This is utterly aligned with your spirit, with your heart, with your soul. Karma is neither good nor bad. It is what it is. The nature of karma is cause and effect. It's understanding that everything that we do has a ripple out. Whether it's interacting with one person or another. Whether it's realizing that certain journeys have reached their natural end and you can fight that and keep wanting to voyage, but it's time to let it end. Karma is about alchemization of the things that we have done that do not align to who we truly are and allowing ourselves to be our true and authentic self. And guys, it's not always easy. It's not easy for me. I know a lot of people have this perception that it's just so easy for me to be this way. It really isn't. It has taken so much work. It has genuinely taken me a lifetime's worth of work to be here, to sit here, and to channel messages for you. This transformational death that has come is an alchemization of karmic patterns and karmic wounds. And it's a beautiful thing for you, Cancer, because that pressure that you've been feeling and that push that and pull and tug of war that you've been feeling, it's about to be alleviated. It's about to be alleviated. But the trick here is knowing, how are you going to integrate? How are you going to apply? And did the lesson stick? So I'm going to give you your guidance and leave it at that. Let's go ahead and take a look first. We have Peregrina. Like I said, I'm not divining these. You guys might want to look them up. This is the Rooted Woman Oracle deck. But when I hear Peregrina, I think of the peregrine falcon. And I want to tell you guys, I had this like transcendent experience back in September of 2023. I was out in Montana helping a former friend move. And as I was helping her move, I was taking just some time to myself. I needed an energetic reset. So I was crocheting out in the yard. And this beautiful peregrine falcon just hopped right up onto the fence next to me and just kind of looked at me. And I said hi. And it tipped its head to me. And I thanked it for joining me in that moment. And it nodded its head again and then it took off. And it just was a beautiful, beautiful thing because it was the first time I had ever seen a peregrine falcon. It was literally 5 feet away from me, and they don't come that close to people, hardly ever. Not unless they have been trained, but this one did. Sometimes the things that should never happen just simply do. I don't know why I needed to share that with you, but yeah, okay. So the next one, we have the Huntress with Soul Awakening and the number 20, and I love this because it harkens back to the Judgment card. It takes you right back to Pluto. 19 plus 1 is 20, so Fire and Peregrina is going to give you your Soul Awakening. This is insane, crazy, I love it. And then we've got 15 with Deep Emotions, Unknown Feelings, Past Life Influences. And this again, we have this connected. It's coming right back to that repression card. We have these two here connecting. So whatever this is for you, how you want to integrate this is going to be up to you. But I strongly suggest that you guys do some research. I suggest that you guys allow your spirit to lead you, but understand and know that the transformational death that is coming is an alchemization of karma, because you have learned such important, pivotal lessons. Amber is the color of your energy. You've learned how to blend the fire with this. You've learned how to bring that spark of life back in whatever way, but it's a beautiful thing. So Cancer, this is the message that I have for you on the soul lessons. I have been finishing these readings and just kind of feeling like I don't even know what I'm talking about, which usually is like, hey, I'm doing some really great channeling. I am going to get these out as soon as I can, because I want to make sure that you guys have the messages that you need. And I want to say thank you one more time. Thank you for holding space. Thank you for being a part of my journey. Thank you for being in this world. I love you all. Thank you as well to your guides, to my guides, to the Great Spirit, to the ancestors, the cosmic waves and professors. Thank you to our divine creator. Just thank you for all the love and the support to get through these things. All right, Cancer, I love you all. I will hopefully see you on another reading. Bye.